know what
Well,
happened.
I think if you do the timeline, you can already see, you guys are out in the late 80s. You guys got the names. Mobb Deep comes 93. So,
Right.
that pretty much clears up who's had it first. I just didn't understand, was it coincidence?
Right.
Just never knew the story. So I appreciate you clearing that up for
And I
us.
seen Prodigy a few times. You know what I mean? Like, I seen Prodigy a few times. There's been times when Mobb Deep was here in LA. And I knew they was here in LA. Yeah, man, Google, rest in peace to Google. That guy definitely intervened in that. But and Mobb Deep, 40 Glock him and Prodigy was tight. But 40 Glock was my nigga first. Like, I produced damn near and more than half of his first album. You know what I mean? And then eventually he ended up being a guy. You know what I mean? So it's like, bruh, if it was really a beef, it would have been a beef. It
Right.
wasn't no beef, bro. That little shit happened. Now, the fact of the name thing, that's some good shit. That's some good conversation. That's some good conversation. I love to have it because I know for a fact I didn't steal nobody's name. I'm not saying they took nobody's name neither. I'm saying I know for a fact I didn't steal it. You know what I mean? I know for
Right.
a fact Havoc, neither one of the Havoc stole no names. We got 2 Havocs in our group. How would that sound? Okay, we see somebody's that name is Havoc and Prodigy. Not only are we gonna steal Prodigy, we gonna steal Havoc twice. We gonna name 2 niggas Havoc. Since we gonna steal these names, we gonna name 2 of our niggas Havoc. That's gonna make it even more official. Man, get the fuck out of here. Some bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit,
No
bro.
doubt. After the debut album, South Central Madness, dropped, what kind of reception did you guys get, and what eventually happened over at Pump Records?
First album dropped. First album did super dope. Sold a lot of units. I know it was like last time I checked that quality, it was over 400,000. I know for a fact that album went way past gold at this point. You know what I mean? The reason we didn't do album number 2 at quality was, like I just said, we met Russell Simmons in Atlanta. Havoc approached him. They talked. Russell did his little research on the South Central Cartel, and he liked the numbers. South Central Madness, he liked the numbers, and he was like, man, why I don't know about y'all, and he was interested because at this point in time, the West Coast was popping, gangster rap was popping, and Russell wanted in. So that's the reason why there wasn't a second album with quality. Now, mind you, we still signed to quality. So we goes to quality like, man, we got an offer from Def Jam on the table. Quality really wanted that second album from us, but at the time, Quality was going through some kind of financial issues. The mother company, the money with the money, Artec, they was going through some kind of money issues, and they couldn't cash us out. Like, we got an album that then damn near went gold. We need more money for this next joint. You know what I mean? And they couldn't offer us. They was trying to get us on some loyalty type shit, like because they gave us our break. And I mean, that probably would work if it wasn't no Def Jam involved.
Right.
But Def Jam was there offering us a lot more money. And Def Jam. It's Def Jam. You feel me? At the time, we wasn't thinking about no East Coast. They never had a West Coast. We wasn't thinking about none of that shit. That was Def Jam. You feel me? That's Russell Simmons. Fuck everything else. We wanted to sign over there, right? So what ends up happening is we was able to negotiate our way off of quality, but the deal was Havoc and Prodigy had to stay on quality. South Central Cartel can go. We're going to go ahead and let y'all go ahead over here and do the Def Jam thing. Russ Regan, who was the guy running Quality, was solid, super solid. And he's a legend in the game as well, Russ Regan. He was like, man, okay, y'all just got to fulfill y'all obligations. Because I think in Def Jam mind, in Quality mind, it was like South Central Cartel going to go to Def Jam and get even bigger. And we going to use that to piggyback the Havoc and Prodigy. And that's what they did. So South Central Madness did great. I'm satisfied.
At this time, you were talking about the members coming into their own with the group South Central Cartel. Are we losing members or are we gaining members going into the second album?
Going into the second album, we still got the same members, but it's getting frigidity. Starting to get a little frigidity, right? Because now money is in it. It's not equal splits. You know, it's not, everything ain't created equal at this point. And it's getting ugly. It's starting to get a little ugly. You know what I mean? SCC was a volatile group. You talking about everybody in there from the streets, all of us. Ain't no busters in the group. You know what I mean? And it's starting to get a little ugly.
Can you take us back to going into In Gats We Trust? What was the concept? What was the creative process like? Was it easier recording this album than the first? Give me all the details going into that sophomore album. So what adjustments did Prodigy make?
The big difference off top with the In Gats We Trust, I produced it. Nope, I didn't have, it wasn't co-produced by, it was me, right? So that's one big difference. Secondly, when we signed the deal and we was going in to do that album, Russell was like, bruh, don't hold back. Talk that shit. Unfiltered. And if you listen to that album, it's very unfiltered. We talking crazy shit on that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Compared to South Central Madness. South Central Madness got some real shit on it as well, and it got some crazy shit on South Central Madness, a few of them, but In Gats We Trust, that whole album is off the fucking rockers gangster. From beginning to end. You know what I mean? And Russell said, do y'all thing, don't hold back. And that's what we did, man. We went in there and we lit that shit up. You know, we talked that hood shit from beginning to end.
Right. You had some stellar guest appearances. I'm going to mention some names, and you could take me back to how that guest appearance came about, your relationship. Lord 3-2.
Oh, man. Well, we met 3-2 from, well, of course, you know, when Big Mike came through, you know what I mean? Well, 3-2 was only on the song that, with the Gang Stories. You talking about Gang Stories, right?
Yeah.
Okay, he was there with Big Mike because, you know, they was a group. So when we brought Big Mike in, he was with him. I wish we would have had him on his own fucking verse, man. I like that cat. I used to fuck with the Convict shit. You know, before Big Mike became a member of the Ghetto Boys, I was listening to him and 3-2 shit before that. So, you know, I knew who he was. You know, but that's how 3-2 ended up in there.
Tupac,
man. You know, like I said, Havoc, first off, Havoc was going out. When any of them records we did with all them rappers on it, Havoc was going out there and putting it together. So that's how a lot of it happened. It's just some of these rappers we did have affiliations with already. So it was just automatically for them to come and get down on our records. The Tupac thing, Havoc say he got Tupac to come do it, you know. So I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and run with that. Havoc, you know, because you know Spice One, I think he was Pac and Spice was together. Spice was already our guy, so you know Spice came to the studio, Pac came to the studio, and we was in there doing the joint. And I just remember Pac saying, "I know y'all don't think y'all finna. I'm not finna be on this song, you know. We doing the song." And I remember hearing Pac say, man, I know y'all don't think I'm leaving here without being on this song. You know what I mean? And he went in there and killed that shit. You know, he wasn't finna leave without being on it. Now, Havoc may have set that up. So I ain't trying to take no flowers from Havoc, the mouthpiece. You know what I mean? He was good at setting up those type of songs.
MC8.
MC8 was our guy. You know what I mean? We had the same lawyer. So we was always doing shows with 8. You know, we was just, 8 was like family. You know what I mean? So that's why 8 was on several of our songs.
Ice-T.
Ice-T, another man. Like I coming up, trying to get in, I would meet people that was part of Ice-T's camp, dude. Like, you know, as a young guy, I remember me and my boy DJ Chaos, we would go to Africa Islam house. Islam was Ice's producer, like Pusha Man and all that shit. Islam was the one producing it. So we would go stand outside of Islam house trying to get on. Like, because he lived some over there in Hollywood. So I always had some kind of somebody that was connected to Ice. You know what I mean? When I did my first single, as just me by myself, Prodigy, I was signed to a company called Cartel Records, an independent label. And they knew Ice-T. You know what I mean? One of the guys that was with our crew, one of the essay cats, Rhyme Poetic Mafia, he close to Ice-T. So we just had so many people that was connected to Ice. It was like that was already family. You know, that was family already.
Is this the point where Young Prodigy is introduced into the group?
Young Prodigy got on our first record in Gas We Trust. The first song he got on was Get 'Em. Well, as far as records that we put out, because of course he got on records that had never been released. But that was his first introduction to the game. Yep. 15 years.
What do you remember? 15 years old. Wow.
15 years old.
How did you know it was his time and he was ready?
Bruh, when the boy came to me and said that he rapped, I mean, my little brother, I didn't even know he was rapping, but he, you know, because I was off doing my thing. He at home getting it in. You know what I mean? He just from the beginning, when he first started rapping, he off the chain now, just fucking off the chain now. But as a young kid, I just seen it in him. I seen it. You know what I mean? He had it, man. He had it from the beginning. And, you know, it didn't take him long to get, yeah, man. You know, somebody said something about Power Lord Jail. Yeah, that was the other member of the Rhyme Poetic Mafia. That's my guy. But, yeah, Young Pride from the beginning, man, he just was, I could see it in his eyes. He was finna be a beast. He was finna be a beast. And he went from being a good rapper to a great rapper real fast. Didn't take him long, man, because he was serious about it.
You guys were the first West Coast group signed to an East Coast label, is that correct?
I don't know about signed to an East Coast label, but maybe signed to Def Jam.
Def Jam.
You know, I know you know, J.O. may have been signed to Jam Master Jay's label already, though. So, you know, it may have been J.O. signed through Jam Master Jay. I'm not sure. But I know we was definitely one of the first.
Right.
We was definitely one of the first couple, you know what I mean, signed over there.
Right. Looking back, what kind of adjustments do you think you made from the first album going into this one on a major label?
I mean, the only major adjustment was production wise. I just did the whole production. You know what I mean? And other than that, just a little bit more raw, a little bit more freedom to just really be raw. You know what I mean? Say what the hell we wanted to say, not really giving a damn about, you know, repercussions. Because, you know, at that time, it wasn't cool to say certain shit.
Right. Can you remember what those sessions were like recording that? Was you had a lot of group members? Was it you said the Chaos was kind of pursuing within the group?
Yeah, well, Chaos and Grip was also producers.
Well, not Chaos as far as the name, just Chaos. Like, was it chaotic with all the members in the studio?
You know
what kind of?
Well, a lot of the time, like with a lot of other producers, when it was time to do the music, it was pretty much me in there. You know, I would get the music together, you know, a lot of the times. And, you know, I used to use a lot of live bass players, guitar players, etc. So, you know, it would be sessions where, you know, I'm in there with damn near a whole band. You know what I mean? And we laying down the music. And most of the time, like I done already came up with a chorus. You know, like and it just me and Rhyme Son had to get together and get them rhymes, you know, get the rhyme part, the rhyme schemes together, etc. But that's pretty much, we get in there and did the music. Most of the session was the music. You know what I mean? Then, you know, everybody would come in and put in their input. The DJs would come in with the turntables, etc. But it was pretty flow. The flow was pretty, that was pretty much the flow of it, though. We come in. I'll originally produce it at home. You know, if I'm looping up some shit, and I might add some keys and shit. But, you know, at that time, I still was kind of in my learning stages. So, you know, I might sample some shit, and I might throw 2 or 3 more samples in it that might be out of key. That might not be in the right key. And at that time, I was going more by ear than, you know, theory. And but then other people would come in that knew more about that, and they would fix the shit. Or, you know, we had an engineer named Sean Freehill that was dope, and he would put the shit in there and fix it. But most of the time, it ended up turning into some live shit. It wasn't often, not very, very often, that I actually used a sample. Rarely did I use the sample. Usually, I'm finna recreate this shit. You know what I mean? And I'm finna get as close as I can to what it was, but it's not gonna be that. You feel me?
You
But
guys ended
it
up
wasn't that
three.
chaotic. It would be a lot of us in there though, so that was
Right.
the chaotic part. But we would make everybody else stay in the front of the studio. If you wasn't in there to do something, you couldn't come to the back.
Mm. You guys ended up dropping 3 singles, I believe, for that album. What was the reception like when that hit the streets, the whole album?
Bruh, that shit was nuts, bruh. Like whatever it was on quality, when the Def Jam joint dropped, it was like magnified like 3-4 times. You know what I mean? Even though we had already established ourselves, it was like now, you know, because, you know, at this particular time, it was a lot going on the West Coast. It was a lot going on, you know what I mean? So, you know, we officially became like, you back on? You
Yeah,
there?
we back on. I think it messed up for a
Okay.
second. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I hear you. You know, the streets, bro, we had the streets locked down. On some street shit, it was a wrap. We was borderline running the streets
Can you take
for a
us
good
back to
minute.
some of the tours? Can you take us back to some of the tour memories, best tour memories Def Jam put you on during this time?
Man, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't remember Def Jam. I don't think Def Jam put us on no motherfucking tours. Real shit. You know, so like what I said a little bit earlier about when we got our deal, when we wasn't really thinking about shit, but the fact that we was on Def Jam, we didn't think about the fact that 93, man. We didn't think about the fact that we was the first West Coast group, etc., etc. And you know what I mean? That's, you know, we wasn't thinking about shit else, bruh. But it didn't end up, you know, the whole Def Jam situation, it wasn't all grits and gravy, you dig? It wasn't
Right.
all grits and gravy, man. Like Def Jam, when it came to our group, it wasn't a whole lot of emphasis on the promo. Now, mind you, the 3 videos, I'm gonna give this man his flowers. Russell Simmons looked out for us. We got hella videos because Russell made sure we got hella video. I don't know if he knew that that was gonna be probably the best promotion we was getting. You feel me? So from my understanding, when they would you know, send the song the promoters to the radio, right, to promote the artist, right, Def Jam had everybody at this time that was popping. And we
Right.
probably was like 15th on the list. Like, you know, this is the priority, and this one, and this one. And then, you know what I mean? Excuse me. Then it was like, then if you can get this one played and this one played. Now, South Central Cartel, you know, see if you can get them on some mix shows. You know what I mean? If you can get them on a couple of mix shows or something, you know, man, we never got it wasn't no priority, man. So, you know, a lot of people be asking like, something like why we wasn't as big as this artist, right? An artist, another gangster rap group or whatever it may be. What I saw from my experience, no disrespect, because I'm over the shit. You know, I'm a grown ass man. I'm over it now. It just wasn't no emphasis put on the group. Like, you know, MC8 record label gave him that love. He got promoted like a big artist. Spice One, Jive Records promoted him like a big artist. SEC, we got what we got. You feel me? And we still did good. We still did good. But it could have been so much bigger if we would have got some kind of motherfucking love. You know,
Right.
if they would have put us up on a motherfucking pedestal sometime just for a couple of months or something. You feel me?
Right.